Hi and welcome everybody, Blowing Minds speaking. We have a problem on the Blowing Minds server. And if you have a technical server, or a technical survival, you might have a similar problem. The problem is that we have lots of portals for all the farms on our world. So, the problem is basically getting track of all the locations that you have. You might remember the most used locations, like the storage or the end, but it's really hard to remember all the locations on your world. For this reason, every large server must have a way to easily travel between locations on the server. Nowadays there are two major ways for large-scale worlds to travel to locations. The first is using a pearl cannon on top of the nether ceiling, and the other is using something called piston bolts. There are a lot of versions nowadays of piston bolts, and a lot of servers are already using it, but we think there are some things that can be improved, or thing that a regular piston bolts lack. So, we organize our ideas, and start working on the things that you can want on this sort of systems, and try to implement all thing that we can put, and optimize and others that may cause a lot waste of resources. The first that we look are resources. The first thing that you don't want is waste resources on your world. For this reason, having a piston bolt for every single location is not an option, because you need to consider that probably your hub will be near 0 of your nether, and if you have a lot of long piston bolts back and forth, the resources wasted are too high. There is a solution for this, and that is to make your piston bolts hexadecimal. That means that one single piston bolt can carry up to 15 signal strength, making it that only one piston bolt can have 15 different stations at once. This works by sending the signal, not by a repeater, but by series of comparators that will store the signal strength, and depend of that, will drop you off on a certain station. But wait, there is more that can we do with this. There is a way to don't even have the limitation of only 15 stations per bolt. Let me explain. Normally, when you do hexadecimal piston bolts, you will compare the signal that come with the piston bolt, compare with the current station, and if they match, you will drop off on that station. But if you don't compare the signal, and instead, you subtract one signal strength every time that you passed a station, this will only drop when the signal strength is 1 and only 1. This subtraction is really simple. You just put two redstone on front on the comparator. The first one will be the same that come from behind, and the next dust will be that, -1. You might think, well, even if you subtract it or compare it, the redstone has a limit of 15 signal strength, it will be the same, because the problem is the 15 redstone limit, not if you compare or subtract it. And you will be right. But you are also wrong. Let me get to the second point. Piston bolt flexibility. We want our piston bolts to be flexible. What does it mean? On the regular piston bolts, you only can go from the hub to your destination and back. On others hex-encoded piston bolts, you go from the hub to the selected station and back to the hub. This is really inconvenient, because there will be multiple times that you want to go from one farm to another, for collecting resources, farming different types of things or other reasons. So having to go from the hub to one location, go back to the hub and go to another, every time that you want to go at multiple locations, is really annoying, especially when that two farm are a little closer. Imagine you have one farm at 1500 and another at 2000 block away from spawn. Going back to the hub 1500 blocks only for you to go again for another 200 blocks sounds really inconvenient. So we need more flexibility. We need to go from any station to any other station. Either if that station is going forward or backwards, and also we need a system where you can put stations where before wasn't any. Because in almost all worlds, you can have new portals on places that you wasn't having before, so we want for you that can make a station wherever you want. That's where the redstone subtraction comes in handy. If you compare the signal for every station, and you want to create a new station on the middle where before wasn't any, you need to recompare all the stations after the new was installed, and again, with the limitation of 15.so, if you have 15 stations already, you can't put another one easily. The fundamental difference between comparing and subtracting is basically how is the redstone intended. When you compare the signal, is like saying, go to the station 15, and when you subtract the signal, is like saying go 15 stations more, and every time that you pass a station, subtract one. That difference is fundamental, because that allows us to make three things. A piston bolt system that can go back and forth, from any station to any other station. The possibility to create new stations wherever we want, and make the piston bolt infinite expandable. There are a little limit, and the limit is that you can only travel 15 stations at once. But when you drop on the station 15, you can go other 15 stations more if you want, back and forth. That mean you can go to the station 15 to the 30, from 4 to 19, from 10 to the 25, and so on. Remember, back and forth so you can go from any station to any station only needing to refresh the signal every 15. Instead of having to rewire all the stations, the only thing that you need to do is change the pages on the books of the stations. And there is one more thing that we want to add: the ability to send storage with us, so if we want to clean our world, having the capability of transport with us 27 slots more, in form of a minecart with chest is really convenient. With all now explained, welcome to Blowing Minds. Neural bolts. First, I like to thanks to this people. This system, at least for now, is only straight. We will work on the diagonal ones. Hope this video gets some views so we work fast on that. This system have only 4 parts: the central station, the site locations, where your portals or destinations are, and the 2 line changers, left and right. The central stations is where all start. This go on your hub. Works by selection your station on the lectern, and hopping on the minecart. And it will go automatically. If you want to send a minecart with chest, remove the minecart that's already on the rail, put the chest minecart, right-click the note block, and hop on the next minecart. Remember, if you don't hop on the minecart after you send a chest, the theft will unload. This is one of the line changers. Maybe can look a lot of mess, but this intersection is really loaded with functionality. Let's see how it works. The intersection have a lot of functionality in order to achieve our goals. It has the 2 main bolts, and another 3 below those. On the middle will let you on the station, and the others 2 will carry you up again from the station to the main line. So this intersection can go down to the station, forward and backward, continue forward, and continue backwards. Go up from the middle station, to the main line, again, forward and backwards. Now, let me show you how the middle station works, and his functionality. The middle station has 2 lecterns, one for go forward and another to go backwards. And on the middle is where you are left, and the chest to fill the minecarts, below a carpet. This stations can difference between empty minecarts without a player, minecarts with players, and minecarts with chest. If a player passes, he will activate a string that will allow them to go inside. The empty minecarts and chest minecarts will get sorted. The empty minecarts will get destroyed and will go up again to be reused. And the chest minecart will pass and go up, where you can collect your things. You can also put a minecart with chest on the station, making it go to another station. Remember to go U2, so the chest don't get unloaded and stop. All downloads will be on the description ready to work. I make sure that the pistons in the rails are aligned for this to work. Thanks you for watching, see you later.